Good morning, fight fans. It's AC Cooper from Eastwick Boxing UK, bringing you some more news from Cooper's Corner. Of course, as always, Cooper's Corner and Eastwick Boxing UK are in association with threekingsboxing.com, and a shout out to the movement and everyone that's moving with it. Right, guys, this morning I'm going to talk about Anthony Yarde. So Anthony is fighting at the Hallowed Hall of York Hall in Bethnal Green in London tomorrow, and he's fighting a guy called Tony Avalon. This is for the WBO European light heavyweight title and the WBO Intercontinental light heavyweight title. Guys, I want to talk a little bit about Anthony's career because I'm seeing so much on social media and Anthony's getting a hell of a lot of hype. Whoa, stop, just think, okay? Don't get too carried away. Whilst what Anthony's doing is impressive, kind of, I mean, let's face facts. He's knocked out 13 of his 14 opponents. That's pretty impressive, but his level of competition simply isn't anything to get excited about. And for me, I'm not saying that Anthony can't go on and be a world champion, but for anyone out there that's saying they're banging the drum, saying this guy's a future world champion for sure, guys, we don't know that. We don't know that, and I'm going to break down why we don't know that. Okay, so let's look at, well, just generally look at his opponents. I mean, he's fought Norbert Nemisapati, but who's he? 25-6. He's fought Chris Hobbs. Chris Hobbs was lively. Chris Hobbs gave him some problems. And Chris was 6-1-1. Up until that point, he fought guys with mostly losing records. Guys, that's nothing to get excited about. It's not. So basically what I'm saying is, while I hope, because I'm a British boxing fan, that we see Anthony Yarde in big nights, big fights, and hopefully becomes a world champion, we simply don't know enough yet. Okay? Now, some of that isn't his fault. He is potentially, probably, in one of the weakest divisions domestically, not world, domestically. It's the light heavyweight division is one of the weakest out there. I mean, this isn't super feather. Even heavyweight's pretty loaded, you know. Middleweight's pretty loaded. Welterweight's pretty loaded with some great fighters. Light heavyweight isn't. So, unfortunately, he's a victim of circumstance in that perspective. There are four, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 fighters out there that could potentially give him problems. But, right now, they're all C-level fighters, Yarde included. Yarde is a C-level fighter until he improves, until he beats a B, until he beats the A. That guy is C-level fighter all day long. And I don't care what you say. You can argue as much as you like with proofs in the pudding. The other problem that he's got is that 3 of the 4 guys, so one of the guys I've just mentioned is Bob Ajasaf. But Bob's come back from, well, I don't know where the hell he's come back from. He spent a fair bit of time on the shelf. I mean, he's been around for quite a while. He's starting to come back now. I think he fought a couple of times last year. He lost to Tony Bellew in the past, but that was back in 2010, right? This is 2018. That shows just how long he's been around. He could pose potentially some questions. He's a southpaw. It would make things interesting. We simply, you know, what I'm looking for right now is questions to be answered of Anthony Yarde, because quite frankly, we haven't seen what he can do. Right? Okay, next point. Callum Johnson. Callum is obviously fighting Frank Buglioni for the British title on the 23rd, 24th of March at London's O2 on the undercard to the Dillian White-Lucas Brown fight. Okay? The loser of that, hey, even the winner of that, shit, Frank Warren can try and make it happen. The other one, of course, is Hosea Burton. Hosea Burton obviously got knocked out in a fight that he was winning handily against Frank Buglioni. He then went up to cruiserweight and he's decided that he's going to come back down to lightweight. Those are the 3 realistic guys that are really, really going to ask some questions, and we're going to find out what kind of level Anthony Yarde is at. Big problem. They're all promoted by Eddie Hearn. We all know Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren do not play nice. I've said this, you've heard me saying this in videos time and time and time again. They very rarely work together. Okay? That's just the way that it is. But Frank Warren has come out and said that he offered Buglioni $100,000 to fight Yarde. Buglioni, I interviewed Frank on some point in January, mid-January I think it was. And Frank told me then he would quite happily fight Anthony Yarde. So hopefully we're going to see, and that's provided he gets past Callum Johnson, of course. Because Callum's a very live fighter. But hopefully, if Callum Johnson wins, we might see Callum Johnson and Anthony Yarde in a ring. Okay? Make the fights happen. Because we simply don't know enough. We were supposed to, his last fight against Nicola Shishloka, we were supposed to get an indication of what he was like. But if you have a closer examination of the guy's record, basically all of his success came against questionable opposition over in Eastern Europe. He went the distance with Arba Abraham. That's a commendable element of his record. But that was in a challenge for the WBA super middleweight title. And this is about levels, this is about size. There are weight classes exist for a reason. Yarde was simply too big. But we also saw Yarde caught in that fight. So, again, I'm just coming back and I'm going round in circles, so apologies. But the simple fact of the matter is, we don't know enough about Anthony Yarde to get excited yet. And as for a world title shot, fucking forget about it. Forget about it. He has got a grossly inflated ranking, and it is incredibly grossly inflated ranking from the WBO, but Warren has ties with the WBO. He does well. Obviously, he's a WBO European light heavyweight champion. That's what's got him in this kind of place. But what the fuck, guys? What the fuck happens if Sergey Kovalev wins his fight in March, right, and decides that one day he's going to knock on the door of Anthony Yarde? Right, I'm making you a voluntary. Yarde will get fucking killed. Not literally. I hope. But there is no way that Anthony Yarde is ready for someone like Sergey Kovalev. Fuck no. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Right. So let's look at the European stage. Because the European stage is relatively interesting. I think that given the promotional problems that I've mentioned, this is probably where you're going to go out and you're going to get Anthony Yarde some tests. Okay, because there's some half-decent names in here. Avalon is ranked 8th in the EBU. Buglioni's ranked 7th. You've got Mehdi Amar, not a bad fighter. Enrico Koleg from Denmark. And obviously you've got Karo Murat. Now, Murat, I think, is actually ranked about 7th by the WBO himself. There's a fight right there. Maybe we can make some of these fights. What I'm saying to you is that don't get too excited, because in all honesty, Frank Warren has not done the best job of building Yarde up. He's making Yarde look like an indestructible monster. But guys, he's insulting our intelligence. Right? He's insulting our intelligence in the sense that it is fucking piss easy to go out there and knock out opposition that you are well and truly superior to. Guys that have they've got a huge losing record. It's easy. And to the casual fan, it makes them look appealing. But guys, you are casual fans, right? You're clever guys. You know as well as I do that he hasn't beaten anybody yet. Now, we've saw with Chris Eubank Jr., a lot was made about him. All the hype that was surrounding him. I turned around on one of my shows and I said, Chris Eubank Jr. hasn't really beaten anybody. Yildirim's not that great a fighter. He beat an Arthur Abraham that was way over the hill. But no, you guys got carried away. Don't do it. Don't fall into the same trap. Wait patiently. I hope Yarde comes good. I really, really do. Because obviously we're all British boxing fans. It would be great to see another world champion. But my personal take is that Anthony Yarde is at least, and I do mean at least, 2 years away from a world title. That's all from me, fight fans. Sorry if I got a little bit carried away, but all too often we see fighters that have very grossly inflated records when they haven't done anything. It's very easy at that point to jump on the hype train, but as an educated boxing fan, you shouldn't do it. Guys, if you like my stuff, as always, you can find me on Eastwick Boxing UK on Facebook. You can find me Eastwick Boxing UK on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to my to the page if you like it, as well as any of the other pages within the movement. So Prodigy of Boxing Talk, Eastwick Boxing Talk, Colossal Boxing Talk, and Truth and Facts About Boxing. Thanks for listening. Until next time.